Hi, this is JennyAHansen, and you are watching my interview series at JennyAHansen.com. We've been chatting with spiritual and business mentor Lynsey Landry about relationships and the changes that come along with a business owner. This is part two.
To figure out a way to make my business work so that I can leave because it was just like we were fighting so much. It was like we weren't even happy anymore. And part of that was because I really believe like that was like my own upper limit. You know, it's almost like I was blaming the relationship, and then in turn, like he felt like resentful of me. He felt like resentful of my business. And so it was like this cycle that like was happening ongoing between us. And for me personally, like one of the things that I did was I really sat down and got honest with myself. And I really meditated and I asked myself to make, when I realized like, okay, there are women out there that need my gifts, like they're experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing right now. Like they need somebody to pull them out, like to help them, to show them. And I really got honest with myself and I asked, what do I need to be able to be that leader that I know that I'm here to be? Like, what kind of support do I need for myself?
Yeah, did you feel like that maybe that you were experiencing just a type of growth and energetically, vibrationally you were growing, and that maybe your partner at the time wasn't like quite, growing or understanding that too at that moment?
Yeah, and I think that I was using the relationship. It's almost like it was safer to like have arguments and like you like not move forward in my business than it was to like do the work and move forward.
Right.
And so, like I had to heal that within myself and really work on that. But a few of the things that I really got clear on and is like I needed support from I didn't need it. Like, I don't think we need it. Like we can support ourselves, but like I wanted support from a coach, somebody that could mentor me and that like had already basically created what
Yeah.
like I was wanting to create. Like I
Mhm.
didn't want to do it by myself anymore because I wasn't enjoying it. So that was like one of the things that I realized for myself. And then the other thing was like having like-minded
Sorry.
community and friends. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I just had this. You just reminded me of this memory I had where I met this woman that I totally idolized. And we were in this small, like, little mastermind group for like the day. And she kind of was looking at me and reading me, and she's like, you need a coach. Do you have a business coach or mentor? Because I can just tell by your energy you need one. And she was not being rude at all, but there was that part of me that was like, no, I don't. And I'm like, yes, I do. But I couldn't afford one at the time. And
Mhm.
so I had to turn that into, nope, like I got to figure it out myself. But if I could have, but then this is like right after B school too. So I had that foundation in that community there. But I think if I had a mentor like back then, I would have probably moved things along a lot quicker
Definitely. And
than I did. Like I have to do, like, it was like I took the longest, hardest way to get
I think, like for me, like realizing I wanted like-minded entrepreneur friends that like I could grow with and like we could have conversations and relationships have always been like a huge topic for me. It's the reason that I got into energy healing because like I was trying to work on my relationships. But to like really finding those relationships that I think as healers and like even leaders, a lot of times like we'll have relationships, but it's like we're the one doing all the supporting. So then like we don't even feel safe to ask for support or like, the other person, maybe they don't know how to support us. So like we might not value their advice or special guest appearance. Speaking of relationships. But, I think a lot of times those dynamics of like feeling like not having somebody to be like on that same vibration or that wavelength with. So for myself, like I just really got clear on like that was what I wanted, and like I was gonna take a stand for that, and like willing to, set boundaries if something didn't feel good to me. So like I had some mastermind partners that, like it worked for like a little while, and then like we kind of like I didn't feel like it was beneficial anymore. So not being afraid to like let go of the things that weren't serving me, to allow the relationships that I really wanted. And even with a coach, like I worked with 3 coaches just in 2015, and like a couple of them were good fits. And so like really having that conversation with them and like letting them know, and but also like getting really clear within myself of what I wanted so that I could attract that and bring that to my, bring that in for myself.
Yes. Just good.
And then you manifest connections like this,
You do. And see, and that was my stuff, is that I had all this like resistance to even just asking for help and reaching for someone else. And so that was something that I eventually had to get past on my own and just to reach out and ask for help. And it's been interesting because the people that I was like certain would show up and like help support what I was doing didn't. Mm-hmm. And the people that I wasn't so sure about rose up and did support this. So that's been just amazing to see. But at the same time, it's like these things happen where also as you grow your business, you start to see like your friends or family members or partners that are, they like don't know this business side. Like they didn't know business Jenny existed. Like they had no idea that Jenny knew how to like make a website and do all this marketing and all this tech stuff and, start a product and all, like they didn't know that. So especially within like my family, they were like, oh yeah, this is cool. And there was support there. My dad was the most supportive because he's very entrepreneurial himself. So I think he like totally got that. And now that he's retired, he's like on this, like out in Oregon on a farm, like doing his own like things there and just loving it and having such a blast. And we were actually on the phone the other day and he was looking at my site and he's like, yeah. And he starts asking me all this like online marketing questions. And it was just so cool, to have that moment. But like my sister was kind of she was really funny because sometimes she would call and like, oh, I have this idea, or try to offer a lot of support and advice. And you're like thinking like, okay, so much about that just so would not work. But you're like, oh, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't think they like don't know that that's in you. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think, like for me, that was sort of where like, in my relationship with my boyfriend, it's like he wanted to help, but like he really didn't know how. And so that was where like a lot of that resistance and like just like tension was coming in, because like he wanted to be helping me and like, but it's really something that like he really didn't know about. And so then, we were both frustrated.
Yeah.
So I think, like, just being aware, like
being aware. That things like that are going to shift and change. And there's some friends that like I have new friends and kind of old friends that just vibrationally kind of, maybe those contracts were done, but they like shifted out and away, and then new friendships start to develop and come in, and there's definitely a shift that happens. And it's kind of hard when those relationships, you start to see that you're no longer really in alignment with them anymore. But as you grow, new ones will come in that will just make you even better. And it's just, you know, maybe that energy was, that karmic contract was fulfilled. And now it's time to, like, you know, move to this other space. And, you know, I don't know. That is just something that some people, I think, really have like a hard time with. For me, it was a little bit easier because when I started this journey and like started my product was, I was already married and my husband and I were like best friends. And so we definitely had some growing pains. And of course, him as my husband is a man, and, you know, he has military background. He like wanted to be helpful. He wanted to help, and he wanted to, you know, like, what can I do? And I wanted to lean on him, and I wanted to have him help, and I wanted to get validation of all these good things I was doing, you know, because I was working so hard, but it didn't look like I was working really hard. But you're constantly working and you're on your computer, you know, like all day. And he really couldn't. And then it's like, so then I had that moment of, no, like, this is like my thing, and I need to stand alone in this and like be okay with that. And be that I am strong enough now that I can do this. And so now he supports me and like encourages me, and like, he's so cute. He'll like share my stuff on social media to like all his like friends that are all these like dudes, you know, but he'll still share everything and is like proud of me, and my family's proud of me. But it definitely, there was some growing pains there as that was shifting. But if I was not like meditating regularly, and if I was not feeling that confidence within me regularly, and if I was not, I think, aware of that this shift was going to happen, because Marie Forleo in B School talked about like, okay, this will happen. If I didn't know that that was going to happen, then I think it would have been a lot more difficult, you know? And so being aware that there is going to be a shift of that is really helpful. So did you and your boyfriend, did you end up breaking up and moving past that relationship, or did you end up coming to some kind of way to work it out, or was it like something that you had to come out of to really fly?
Well, in October, we ended up manifesting like a new house. And that was almost like this brand new foundation. And like, I really like how you said, like, you had to like figure out that you needed to like stand alone, like almost have those healthy boundaries, and like realize like, this is my like space, this is my dedicated time towards my business. And for me, it was a lot about boundaries. Like, I just had to like get grounded in myself and like get grounded in my business, and like just basically set the ground rule. Like, I'm working in my business this time, and like, it's not because I don't love you, like, that I'm not like spending time with you. And you know, again, it was like a little bit uncomfortable at first. Like,
those like growing, we had
some fights in that. And but yeah, like, now things are so good. Like, and like, I can totally relate to you too, how you said like you wanted that validation, like you wanted to see like how hard you were working. I would feel like that too a lot of times. Like, and so then just that like emotional back and forth. But
because like my sister at the time was going to school, and she was getting in her nursing degree, and so she was getting all this like attention and validation of like, oh, you're in college, you're getting your degree. And I'm like sitting there like, if you only knew what I did every day, like, where's my love, you know? Like, and I remember this one time I wanted to do like this birthday party / launch party for Create, and I like was trying to kind of plan it, but not too much, because it was my birthday too, and like nobody was into it. And I remember I felt so bad, because it was like, it was such a big accomplishment for me when I officially launched Create Beverages website, because I'd been working on it for so long. I was 9 months pregnant at the time. We had just, my dog was getting sick, and it was like literally I gave myself a day to launch the website. And the day that I launched the website was the day, and then I had my little girl. So I'm like 6 weeks postpartum. And then my grandfather passed away, who was like father to me, best friend ever. And then a few weeks after he passed, then we had to put my dog down, who had been with me for 13 years. She was like sleeping on couches and with me in my gypsy days of my life, you know? And I used to joke with my husband, and my dog's name was Lena. And I'd say, yeah, I've had her longer than you, you know, like we would joke. And the day that we had to put her down was the day that I had promised I would launch my website. And so it was like, that was the last thing I wanted to do, but I had made that promise to myself, and I did it. You know, like before midnight hit, I made sure that that was launched. And so it's like things like that emotionally come up, that stuff is going to come up, but I don't want that to discourage anyone from not doing what they want to do. Like, you almost have to hold a space of like not to minimize your work. And not to just think that it's not important and other things. And granted, of course, there's situations like, I mean, you know, if, you know, God forbid, you know, someone in my family was very ill or whatever, my business I could step away from and just take a break. But, you know, there are these things that come up that it can be easy for you to go into a mentality of like, this is too hard. Like, this is hard. But to just keep going, you know? And I don't know why our conversation just shifted here, but it did.
Yeah, and like what comes to me is like, again, this is like all about like the inner work, but like also like the balance of that knowing of like, okay, so is this something that like I need to push through? Or is this just a sign that like I need to lean back and like trust and let spirit guide things a little bit, like, and receive? Because like I've totally seen myself, but also like people being on the total opposite side of the spectrum where they're like pushing and pushing and pushing. And really like what's needing to happen is like for them to lean back a little bit and like let things come in. Like when I like first really got my business off the ground and I had that really successful month in the beginning, you know, one of the things that like was so crazy about it, like some of my most successful days were actually like tanning outside.
Yes.
Like I would get like 5 discovery calls and I'd be like, holy crap, like this is amazing.
Right.
And, like, I was working so hard. Like I created my first opt-in, like I did all this stuff, but like I knew when it was time for me to like pull back. And when I felt that, I gave myself permission. And I don't know about you, but like that's one of the things I really love working with entrepreneurs with is like when to push forward and like what inspired action steps should you be taking, not just like pushing forward for the sake of pushing forward, but like how
honoring that,
use our intuition more to let it navigate us and be our compass of like where we should be spending our energy.
This is amazing. And this is like something too, is as more modern day entrepreneurs, and we are more creative and spirit centered. And I've noticed that too, that a lot of the creative spirit centered entrepreneur has this fear around structure. And they feel like that if I can't completely structure everything out perfectly, I won't be successful, which is not the case. You do need a bit of structure and you do need to have that responsibility as well, but not to the degree that it used to be. It's a lot more feminine, more delicate type of energy around business right now that is more heart-centered. And I think that there's a lot more freedom around with entrepreneurship where we're able to do this. And I want to know what you think about that, of like just dropping that fear of that structure and just really moving forward on your journey.
So I think it's kind of interesting because like I used to totally be afraid of like the whole structure thing. And I allowed that to like hold me back for so long because like I didn't know how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So like even like an opt-in funnel, for example, like not knowing.
I just did my opt-in like a month ago, and I've been in business for 4 years, but I just started the JennyAHansen.com about 4 weeks ago. And so that was a huge, and you think I wasted so much time because I get thousands and thousands of views to my site every day. And I'm like, why? Why didn't I do an opt-in? That was so dumb. And now I'm so proud of it, you know? Actually, you know what? Maybe that should be, I think what I'll do is I want to teach people just how to set up a basic site. And then our second one, maybe I'll teach, you know, just doing a little opt-in or like a little landing page or something. That would be good. Just so you at least have something to start with. But anyway, sorry, please continue.
Yeah, that, you know, all the like, I used to like get so caught up in my head about like all the masculine structure stuff that I couldn't like fully lean into my intuition and let the ideas of like actually what I wanted to do come through. Or I'd be bombarded with like 500 different ideas, and then like because I didn't have the masculine structure, like I didn't know how to do it. Like I didn't know, like, you know, I'd get an idea for a class, but like because like list building intimidated me, or
Right.
like then like I would never launch the class.
Yes.
So I totally I do believe that like figuring out like a system that feels good for you, like
that feels good for you.
Yeah, like, you know, I do believe that like, and the way that I learned anyway, like I like to have like some structure or like tangible, like tell me how I could do it and then I'll tell you how I want to do it.
Yeah, that's so perfect.
Like don't tell me what to do, just tell me like the possibilities and I'll figure
and
out.
I'll figure it out. Yes, exactly. Which is the modern millennial mindset. But even if you can be a modern millennial entrepreneur at heart too. You don't even have to be a certain age to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's so perfect. So just don't get hung up on that structure. Just start, because that's where your clarity comes. That's where your journey comes, you know? Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything else you want to speak to or anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I feel like the only thing that's coming to me is like, so like if somebody's listening and they like are identifying like they need support or like they know they want it, but like they're afraid or they feel like I don't have the money, or I think like that's the perfect opportunity to drop and meditate and like really ask spirit, like show me, give me some signs, like show me how I can do this. I just really feel like if just like leaving them with the message, like if you're feeling that burning desire or that call, like basically like allow it to show you how it's gonna happen.
I love that.
Like don't throw it out the back door, or don't try to like cover it up and feel like it's not possible or like I can't do that right now. Like really just like invite it in and explore it and like allow it to show you, because I think that it's like when we can embrace that, like there's so much magic and so much possibility. Like that's what it's like, that burning desire, that's what leads to the magic.
I love it. That's so good. Oh, thank you so much, Lynsey. Yes. You are so beautiful and this was so good. So thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that we found each other. And I just want to close with that intention right there, that anyone who is watching this, that they will listen, and that they will listen to their intuition and what they're being guided to do, and that they will take that moment to really hear it and not be afraid, and to just start.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
good. I love it. Thank you. And it is done. It is done. It is done. Well, again, thank you so much. And thank you for doing this interview. And I can't wait to get it up as soon as possible for everyone to watch. And again, you guys go to lynseylandry.com and check out her stuff. And again, I'll put all of her information in the description box below. She also has, is your Facebook group private for your clients, or is that for anyone to join?
It's for anyone to join.
Okay, so I'll put a link to that too, because
Cool.
it's a good group. I really like it. I'm kind of just like watching and reading, but I love it in there. So thank you again so much, and everyone have a beautiful day.
Bye. Thank you.
Wasn't that fantastic? So make sure you follow Lynsey Landry over on her website, and remember that she is pleased to have you as a part of her Facebook group, Soul Inspired Success. Again, this is at JennyAHansen's interview series, and stay tuned for our next interview, which will be all about staying organized in business.